好，同学们 Welcome again to A Journey to China, Chinese 1. It's good to see you again. 欢迎到中国之旅第一册，我是于博士。In today's lesson, you will learn to say good morning and see you tomorrow. Discover more about Chinese characters, their structure, and how they are written. Understand the meaning of some Chinese names, and you'll add words you know to new phrases and practice saying them. In our last lesson, you learned how to identify someone and introduce others. Let's review the dialogue and watch Li Wei interact with the teacher and introduce his friends.
你好，你是？
我是李维，他是白兰，他是林大虎，他们是同学。
老师好。
Did you understand what you heard in the dialogue? Excellent. I hope you've been practicing this dialogue with each other. Tell me, how do you ask someone in Chinese who they are in a polite way? Yes, you'd say, 你好，你是 Say it with me. 你好，你是 If someone asked you, 你好，你是 what would you say to identify yourself? Yes, you'd say 我是 and give your family name, then your given name. Turn to your neighbor and take turns asking them who they are in Chinese. Then respond by identifying yourself. I'll give you a few seconds. Good job! Now, how would you introduce a friend to another person? Correct. You'd say 他是, then say their family name and their given name. What does 他是 mean? 很好, excellent. It means she is or he is. In the dialogue, Li Wei said 他是白兰 and 他是林大虎. Say 他是白兰 with me 3 times. 他是白兰，他是白兰，他是白兰。Now say 他是林大虎 with me 3 times. 他是林大虎，他是林大虎。他是林大虎，很好。Li Wei described Bai Lan and Lin Dahu by saying, 他们是同学. What does 他们 mean? Yes, 他们 means they or them. You know that 是 means am, is, or are. So 他们是 means what? Yes, they are. 他们是 they are. Tell me the meaning of 同学. Yes, classmate or fellow student. That was easy. So what does 他们是同学 mean? 好, it means they are classmates. Let's say 他们是同学 together 3 times. 他们是同学，他们是同学，他们是同学。Finally, Bai Lan and Lin Dahu greeted the teacher by saying, 老师好. What does this mean? Yes, it means hello teacher. Say 老师好 with me. 老师好。Great review of the dialogue, 同学们. In our last lesson, we looked at character structure. What are the 2 basic types of character structure? Correct. They are 1. Single part character structure and 2. Compound character structure. Can a compound character structure have more than 2 parts? Yes, it can. 同学们, an effective way to learn characters is to identify and memorize their structure and parts. So the first step is to identify if the character is single or compound. Then you can look at the parts and memorize them. Let's review some characters and identify their structures. If you don't know, then make your best guess. Here's the character nin, meaning the formal form of you. What type of structure does it have? Good. Nin is a compound structure. Sometimes it's not easy to tell if a character is single part or compound. Nin has two parts, with one part on the top and one part on the bottom. Next, the character Ming, meaning bright. Is this a compound character? Yes or no? Yes. Ming is made of two parts, side by side. You may remember that the part on the left is the pictograph for the sun, and the part on the right is the moon. Next, Tian, meaning day. What kind of character structure does Tian have? Are you sure? Tian is a single part character. Tian is a little tricky when you first see it. This is why memory work comes in handy later on. Now look at the character for Zao, meaning morning. What do you think? Is it a single part or compound character? Zao is a compound character. It has one part on top and one part on the bottom. Identifying character structure and their parts will become easier as you practice looking at them and learning what they mean. Good job! Now it's time for new vocabulary and a dialogue. Watch this.
你早，李伟。
你早，林大虎，明天见。
明天见。
Did you hear any familiar words? A few? How much did you understand? You could tell that the boys were greeting each other. What do you think they said the first time they saw each other? Well, that's a good guess. They were saying good morning to each other. Lin Dahu said, 你早，李伟. You know the word 你, 早 means morning. Notice the third tone above the compound final, ao, 早. I'll say for you 3 times. 早, 早, 早. Now repeat after me 3 times. 早, 早, 早. Good. Now let's say 你早 together 3 times. 你早, 你早, 你早. What does 你早 mean? Yes, it means good morning. Let's practice saying Li Wei's name. Listen, then repeat after me. Li Wei, Li Wei, Li Wei. Good. Now we'll practice saying the whole phrase. 你早，李伟. Repeat after me. 你早，李伟. 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 Turn to your neighbor and say, 你早，李伟. 好，同学们. Later in the afternoon, Li Wei saw Lin Dahu and spoke to him. What do you think he said? Some of you think he said a version of goodbye. Well, that's close. He said 明天见, which means see you tomorrow. First, let's practice saying Lin Dahu's name. Listen, then repeat after me. Lin Dahu. Lin Dahu. Lin Dahu. Good. You know, 明天 from our previous lesson. What does it mean? Good. It means tomorrow. Do you recognize 见 in the phrase 明天见? You know it from the word 再见. Do you remember what 见 means? 好. It means to see. 明天见 means see you tomorrow. Let's practice saying 明天 first. Repeat after me. 明天，明天，明天。明天 means tomorrow. Now, 见 meaning to see. Say the fourth tone clearly. Repeat after me. 见，见，见。Now let's put it together. We'll include 林大虎's name. Repeat after me. 林大虎，明天见。林大虎，明天见。林大虎，明天见。See you tomorrow. 明天见。Turn to your neighbor and say, 林大虎，明天见。Good. How do you say good morning? Correct. 你早. And how do you say see you tomorrow? Excellent. Yes. 明天见. Now, you know how to say good morning, 你早, and see you tomorrow, 明天见. Now, let's look at our vocabulary. We'll concentrate on 6 new words in today's lesson. First, repeat each word after me. 早，明天，大，林，伟，里。Now I'm going to say the words again in Chinese. You translate and tell me what the words mean in English. I won't say them in order. I'm going to mix them up. 伟，早，里，明天，林，大。好, by now, you've probably noticed that Li Wei's given name means great. You also notice that part of Lin Dahu's given name means big, but that's only for Da. Hu means tiger. So Lin Dahu's personal name means big tiger, a strong and masculine Chinese name. A person's given name is important in Chinese culture because parents choose a name that expresses their hopes for their child. Names are also chosen to reflect masculine or feminine qualities, be pleasant in the way they sound, or have a favorable meaning like prosperous or wise. Earlier, we looked at the character structure for 早, 明, and 天. They are part of the words in today's sentences. Let's look at the characters for our words closely. Look for something about each character to help you remember what it means. 早 has what type of structure? Correct. It's compound. The top part is the pictograph for the sun, 日, and the bottom part is the character 时 that carries the idea of complete or perfect. 早 means what? Correct. 早 means morning, 早. 明天 is a word formed from 2 characters. 明 means bright, and 天 meaning day. What is the meaning of 明天? Try again, 同学们. Yes, 明天 means tomorrow. Look at our next character. This is 大. Da is an adjective. That means big. It's a pictograph for a man holding out his arms so he looks large. 大 means what? Yes, 大 means big. Is a single part or compound character? Excellent! 大 is a single part character. The next character is Lin. Lin is a common Chinese family name. Lin can also mean forest. What kind of character structure do you see? Very good. It's compound. You are getting good at this. The left part is a pictograph for a tree. The right part is also a tree. Lin means what? Yes, Lin means forest, and it also could be a family name. Here's the character Wei. It means great. Wei is a pictophonetic character. Do you remember what that means? It means that the left part gives us the meaning and the right part gives us the sound. Wei is formed from the character Ren for person on the left. The character Wei on the right gives us the sound. Wei with the third tone means great. Let's look at the characters again. I'll say the word in English, and you translate the word and say it back to me out loud in Chinese. Do your best. Morning. This is 早. Tomorrow. This is 明天. Big. This is 大. Forest or a family name. This is Lin. Great. This is Wei. A popular family name. This is Li. How did you do? I'm sure you did well. It's time to look at the pinyin syllables of some of our vocabulary. Today, I've included the word nin. Let's analyze the initials, finals, and tones. The initials are n, z, mo, ta, la, and wu. Are there any simple finals? No, there are none. How about compound finals? We have yin, ao, ying, yan, and a. Look at the tones in our words. How many words use the first tone? Correct, only one. In the word tian, how many words have the second tone? 几个? How many? Yes, there are 3. Nin, Ming, and Lin. How many words have the third tone? 几个? How many? Correct. There are 2, 早 and Wei. It's time to practice today's sentences in groups of 2. Take the sentences and using the words in blue, change out the name or title of a person or people you're speaking to. Make at least 6 different sentences. For example, you could say, 明天见，同学们. All right, you may begin. 开始吧，同学们. 好，同学们. How did you do? Start using these sentences to say good morning and see you tomorrow to your friends and classmates. Use the Chinese you know as much as possible. Let's move from speaking Chinese to writing Chinese. Today, we'll learn the basics of writing Chinese characters. Let's start with the basic strokes and their names. Look at our chart. This is the character for song. It has almost every brush stroke used in writing Chinese characters. To write song, it takes 7 strokes. we'll say the names of the strokes in the same order that's traditionally used to write this character. This is Dian. Say Dian after me. Dian. Dian is a dot. Next, we have another dot, Dian. Say it with me, Dian. 好. This is 横钩. 横钩 is a horizontal stroke with a hook at the end. Say 横钩 with me. 横钩. Then there's 横. 横 is a horizontal stroke. Say 横 with me. 横. The next stroke is 竖. 竖 is the name of the vertical stroke. It starts above and goes straight down. Say 竖 with me. 竖. Next, the stroke 撇. 撇 goes down and to the left. Say 撇 with me. 撇. Finally, the last stroke for this character is 捺. 捺 goes down and to the right. Say 捺 with me. 捺. These are the names of the basic strokes, and the character 送 is complete. Now I'll show you how to write the strokes of characters. Take out some paper and a pencil and get ready to write. I want you to write the stroke exactly as it appears on the screen. First, here's a stroke 横. 横 is always written from left to right in a horizontal line. Let's practice one more time. One last time. Many times, you'll see the characters look like they're written with a brush. That is a brush style of writing. If you're using a pencil, your writing is more close to the print style. This example has one stroke. It's also the character for number 1, 一. Let's do it again. And say 一 with me. 一. That's very good. When writing Chinese characters, there are principles of writing. You just learned the principle that horizontal strokes are always written from left to right. Another principle is that characters are written from the top down. Write 横 again. First, use a short stroke above, then a longer stroke below it. I'm going to show how to do this now. Short stroke, 一横, 再一横. Let's practice again. Short 横, 再一横. Good. This character has 2 strokes. It's called 二. Let's practice that. 一横, 再一横. Remember 再 from 再见, again. Let's practice again. 一横, everybody say that with me. 一横, 再一横. Can you guess what does it mean? Yes, it's number 2. Now let's write 横 again, using 3 strokes from left to right, starting from the top down. 一横, 再一横, 又一横. Let's practice again. Say that with me. 一横, 再一横, 又一横. Make your example match mine. This example has 3 strokes of different length. Medium length on the top, short length in the middle, and the longest length on the bottom. Okay, let's try it again. 一横, medium, 再一横, real short, and then the longest 横. How'd you do? Very good. This is character 3, meaning what? Yes, it's 3. Our next example is the character 土, meaning soil or dust. 一横一竖再一横 Practice with me and say it with me. 一横一竖再一横 First 横 Then the vertical stroke 竖 is second. The final stroke of 横 at the bottom completes this character. One more time. 一横一竖再一横 Very good. All the strokes are connected. This is a 3-stroke character. This is Wang, meaning king. 一横两横一竖再一横 Listen to me again. 一横两横一竖再一横 The stroke order is 横 at the top first. Then a second 横 below, shorter. The vertical stroke 竖 is written next. Then the final stroke of 横 completes the character at the bottom. We'll do it one more time. 一横两横一竖再一横 This character is written from the top down. 竖 connects all the strokes of 横 in this character. This is a 4-stroke example. Here's our next example, 人. This character has 2 strokes. 一撇一捺. 一撇 is slant to the left. 一捺 to the right. Let's try it again. From top, slant to the left, 一撇一捺. Okay, let's try one more time. And say that with me. 一撇一捺. Very good. Look at our next character. 一横一撇一捺. Let's try again. 一横一撇一捺. Which stroke should go first? I hear 横. That's correct. Next, 撇 follows down and slant to the left. Final, we have 捺. Go to the right. Do you recognize this 3-stroke character? Yes, it's 大, meaning big, 大湖, remember? While we practiced writing, I gave you some principles of writing characters. Here's a chart with the principles of direction and stroke order. Make a note of these and keep them nearby when you practice. The basic principles are 1. Left to right. 2. Horizontal strokes before vertical strokes. 3. From the top down. 4. The middle, then the 2 sides. 5. The outside before inside. 6. The inside, then bottom closure. Following these principles will help you write Chinese characters and learn the stroke order correctly. Look at 你 and guess which stroke is first. What do you think? Yes, the left side at the top. The stroke is 撇. Very good. How many strokes does 你 have? It has 7. Look at the character 山. Which stroke is first? Go ahead and guess. 树 in the middle is first. The top-down principle is shown here. Then the principle of the middle, then two sides. How many strokes for 山? There are actually 3. Start looking at characters in this new way and practice picking the correct stroke order. I think you'll find it fun. 同学们, we've been busy with today's lesson. Let's review the things we've been working on. Today, you learned how to say 你早, good morning, and 明天见, see you tomorrow. You also added 3 different names and titles to the sentences and practice speaking them to each other. For instance, 你早, 老师, and 明天见, 同学们. You practiced translating today's vocabulary from Chinese to English and back to Chinese. Today's words were 早, 明天, 大, 林, 伟, and 李. You discovered some of the Chinese traditions that are used when giving a child a personal name. Names can reflect masculine or feminine qualities, be pleasant in the way they sound, or have a favorable meaning. Lin Dahu's given name means big tiger, and Li Wei's given name means great. We studied the character structure of today's vocabulary. You look closely at the parts of the characters to help you memorize them. For instance, 早 means morning. Since part of the character is a pictograph for the sun, I first memorized 早because the sun reminds me of the morning. Today, we continue our study of the Chinese writing system and learn the names of some of the basic strokes. We practiced writing the strokes and began to learn the principles of stroke order and the direction. You've learned a lot in today's lesson, 同学们. To be ready for our next lesson, complete your assignments and practice speaking today's sentences as much as possible. Use the Chinese you know. I'm looking forward to seeing you again for our next lesson on a journey to China, 中国之旅. And remember, 学无止境, learning never ends.